Hi, this is Suzanne Vasbinder with your Home Store Guarantee Realty, and I'm here today with Scott with Peepers Home Inspections. And recently, what we're going to be doing today is talking about some of the things that we've seen since Hurricane Ian has hit us. And we've actually had several home inspections done, and we're just going to go talk about this. So, Scott, what do you think the main issue is that you're seeing right now?
So far, most of the homes that we've inspected have a lot of wind damage and damage to the roof and soffits and fascia. We've seen excessive damage on tile roofs more than any others. So there's quite a few asphalt roofs that have been damaged, but a lot of tile roofs have been damaged. And quite honestly, a lot of them are from the neighbors. So as tiles blow off from the neighbor's house, they smash into the tiles on the next house and they create holes in it. So we've seen missing tiles, broken tiles, and a few leaks in the roofs.
Yeah, and the other thing that we've seen is, of course, the pool cages, right?
Pool cages.
I mean, and
A lot of screens missing.
a lot of missing screens, and they're usually at the bottom of a pool or something like that. But one of the things that I've really noticed, and I think you've noticed it also, is driving around. We see the homes that have flooded tend to be older.
Right.
At the old elevation level, and since the 90s, they started lifting the elevation level, so these homes have not flooded at all.
Right.
I mean, we've seen it, especially the yacht club area, the southeast Cape, and even the southwest Cape, the properties south of Cape Coral Parkway. That's where we've really noticed a difference. For example, my parents live on Sorrento Court, and you could pretty much go down the street and see exactly, you could name, without even looking at the property, you know that they've had water damage.
Correct.
And all the newer properties that just been built in the last 20 years or so, they're fine. I mean, It's just, and that's amazing. So really, I mean, our codes are working.
Absolutely, and we see that in a couple different places. So I personally went through the flood. We had 18 inches of water in our house. We've in the process of gutting it now. The house across the street, my house was built in 1967, and the house across the street was built in the 2000s. It's higher, and they had no damage at all from water. They lost their pool cage.
Right.
And what we see a lot of is roof damage based on the shape of the roof. So my particular roof has a gable configuration, and I lost a bunch of soffit and fascia. The homes with hip roofs tend to be a lot better, and that's a code now. So the straps and the clips and everything that we look for when we do wind mitigation certainly help. And a couple things that surprised me that we found is we did some IR scans inside houses with the sun shining, and the insulation had been moved and displaced in there, and we can see that with our camera, but you can't see it necessarily from anywhere else unless you get right up in the attic and look at everything.
That's why you see the unseen,
We
right?
see the unseen, correct.
Because that's your logo.
Yep.
But it's true. I mean, we just were at a home inspection the other day, and you could see actually as you were walking through we noticed it in the living area, I believe, of the house, and there was no insulation there.
Basically no insulation at all.
Yeah. So that's really interesting, the technology that's out there.
Yeah.
But definitely, I mean, if anybody's under contract right now, or if you're going to be buying, even if you're buying cash, please get a home inspection. I
Absolutely.
mean, nobody should buy anything sight unseen, especially after a major storm like Ian.
And if they're in a particular contract right now and they would like a storm evaluation, Peepers is definitely offering that. We do it for everybody if they're just curious, or if they would like a data set for their insurance submission.
Right.
We do that, and we can do a quick check for a roof walk and all kinds of scans for whatever they need. So.
Right, and one of the other things I've noticed is the pool cages. Now the newer pool cages, and we've got one of those. The main part, I mean, and we've got it's over 60 feet long in the backyard, and that one stayed intact. I mean, we've lost a few screens, of course, and our doors, where the frame's actually less wide or anything like that, that moved. But everything else, because we just have 3 huge picture, and they are still there, which we are totally blown away by that.
It's amazing. They use larger beams in those long spans, and they use heavier screen.
Yeah.
So they definitely hold up better.
Yes, and so what else have you noticed since Hurricane? The market, right?
The market, yeah. What about the market?
Well, I mean, let's see here. I mean, so far this week we've put 2 buyers under contract, and we've got a few people selling, but we've had a lot of people out there looking for homes. And I think actually, this is the time to look for a home. If you are thinking about moving to Southwest Florida, this is the time to do it, because you can physically go see the homes that got damaged and the ones that did not damage,
Absolutely.
and especially for flood. I mean, that's the main thing, because this was a storm, what, of a century, basically, or
much.
500 years. I mean, this is, not your normal hurricane. But, it's just amazing that, you can go out and look at homes right now. And the ones that are not flooded, I mean, that's where you want to go.
Right.
And you can see these things, because a lot of people have been living in the yacht club area since the 60s. And they have never seen floods like this, or
Right.
never. I mean, even through Irma, through Charlie, all of that. I mean, we had some water, but no storm surge. Now we know what the definition of storm surge is,
Absolutely.
and it's kind of scary. I mean,
It
it's
is.
because we all stayed home, and we did, and don't recommend it.
Yeah, we stayed until we couldn't. So
Yeah,
when the
because-
water came in the house, we had to leave.
Yeah, you left, and that was scary.
It was scary.
Yeah. So Scott, can you give us how to get a hold of you or anything like that?
Sure. So I'm on Facebook and Peepers Home Inspection, and I'm on Google Maps as Peepers Home Inspection, and my telephone number is 239-776-9261.
And my phone number here at Your Home Swing Guarantee Realty is 239-357-8787. If you have any questions about real estate or about who to recommend for local contractors, as you can see, Scott has a 239 area code. So do we. We are local. We live and work in our community here. So we just feel free to reach out. We've got a large list of contractors that we personally recommend, that we actually have worked with and use on our own homes, and Scott has worked with also. So feel free to reach out to us. Thank you for listening, and we'll be doing some more updates as we progress with the recovery of Ian.